Buck the Movie Buff back here again to talk about a movie just saw in the cinema. Uh, New movie out, probably definite Oscar contender by Coralie Fargeat. Don't know if I'm saying her name right. She's a French director. Did the 2017 Revenge, which is a pretty intense plot of men and misogynistic wealth and the punishment that they so deserve in the movie by the heroine, female protagonist, and does it again with The Substance, which is a movie about Elizabeth Sparkle, played by Demi Moore, and then goes through a process in which, for her aerobics show, she wants to be young again and cast again, and becomes a character Sue by taking and activating a chemical in her body, which allows her to be reborn in a kind of gory and grotesque, mutilated way. If you pay attention to it, it's classified as a kind of sci-fi horror flick. Why would I have these movies to show you today? You know I'm a Kubrick fan. I thought three or four of these were homage in the movie, where the movie paid homage to them. Definitely The Shining, Clockwork Orange, definitely 2001 Space Odyssey, and I would even say Eyes Wide Shut and Lolita in some ways. So rather than kind of telling you about movies, I'll do a whole Kubrick series eventually, but definitely you should see a few of the ones I mentioned. So when you watch the film, you can see how they reflect and also pay homage to Kubrick in this flick. Okay. It was quite an amazing movie. And really, how would I say, the actress also cast Margaret Qualley, who's out of Montana. I kind of looked that up before recording this. Didn't know that. Was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and plays part of the Manson gang crew, and ends up in a car ride with Brad Pitt, and is quite seductive. Well, perfectly cast in this, because she also plays a kind of very beautiful younger version of Demi Moore's character, Elizabeth Spark, and is quite seductive in it too, when she gets to be reborn as Sue and turn her sparkle aerobic show into Pump It Up. What is this movie an allegory for? We had to go down into Colorado to see this because it wasn't something that was able to be viewed up here in Wyoming yet. And well worth it. Well worth the drive, and well worth the silence in the car and the talk back and returning to Wyoming. You know, we live in a time where beauty is so valued in youth. And, you know, you could see this in the Hollywood scene anyways, with all the plastic surgery jobs done, whether or not they're done well or botched. So many people, and even just regular society that aren't celebrities, are doing plastic surgery nowadays to have a better version of themselves. And I wouldn't even say a better, younger version of themselves. I think it is mentioned at one point in the movie that Demi Moore wants this kind of younger version of herself, but then it becomes just a better version of herself. And who's to say we are better artists than Mother Nature, right? Who's to say wrinkles and gray hair aren't beautiful and attractive? I personally think they are, and have never, ever, ever dyed my hair, nor has my wife, and never plan to. This value we place on these norms around youth and looks and beauty, as it's sold to us by the media, is at the heart and core of this movie. And it's not only making a statement on that, but also addiction, right? Yeah, there are people that get addicted to drugs and alcohol and all kinds of things, addicted to sex, addicted to gambling, but there are people that actually genuinely get addicted even to plastic surgery. And this movie, the idea to be the older version of yourself just seems to be so unbearable that you're willing to put a chemical in your body that would allow a different you, although one with you, to exist, and even one that selfishly maybe takes advantage of you. The movie is kind of told in this set of three chapters, you know, the Elizabeth Sparkle chapter, the Sue chapter, and I don't want to say the third chapter, I love 3-act movies. I love when they call out the chapters and the storylines in them. But it is in 2024 the most artistic and best movie I've seen yet. I do like other ones like Dune, right? I've talked about the movies on this channel that I've seen, and I think definitely have a chance and will win for certain things like effects and photography and sound. But in terms of this more less Hollywood blockbuster type movie coming out that's more artistic and has something to say, so far in the year 2024, for March 2025 Oscar awards, this is the one I've seen up to date. And we're about to be, we're at the end of September, about to go into October this coming week. I haven't seen anything this good yet. Hats off to the French director Coralie Fargeat. I think that I'm saying her name right. Hats off to the actors in this movie, Demi Moore, to Margaret, Qualley, Dennis Quaid. Oh my God, definite, obvious homage to Clockwork Orange. One of my favorite movies out of the 70s. How would I relate this one to that? The idea of media and what it sells us, right? Clockwork Orange is all about that. The two best movies out of the 70s to me are Taxi Driver and Clockwork Orange. And I think they both deal with how we as a society turn on the boob tube or whatever we look at in terms of media stream, our feeds, are shown one truth or one reality that might not even be that. And when you can be that spectator behind the scenes that knows the whole truth, you realize it's snake oil. You realize that they're just feeding us lies. And wow, I could see Dennis Quaid even getting like a supporting nomination for this. But well done, Demi Moore. Thank you for having the valor to do a part like this, to be that courageous. You know, she herself is a pop culture icon in terms of beauty and sexuality in other movies she's been in, like Indecent Proposal to G.I. Jane. I'll have to go over those movies on their own episodes in this channel. But I thought for a younger generation, not realizing the significance of Demi Moore's beauty and sunniness, and I think she still is beautiful, to take this movie on, wonderfully done. You know, it's apparent to me when I was looking at her on the screen, she's even done plastic surgery. There's just no way Demi Moore has not done some amount of plastic surgery. One thing I couldn't help but wonder was, what would she look like right now had she never ever done any plastic surgery? I think she would be just as beautiful as she is today, personally. You know, it's her choice. I'm not saying her to do Botox or whatever she's done to minimize wrinkles and so forth. You know, we are all allowed to handle our bodies as we are the owners of them in terms of dysphoria or in terms of other things, right? But I did keep wondering, like, what, you know, this movie is saying something, and what would she look like had she never done 1 ounce of plastic surgery? I saw not too long ago a YouTube video. I'll put the link in the comment area myself, which is a 96-year-old woman reflecting at the end of her life on her life. And all I could help realize and think as I watched this, I think approximately 13-minute video interview with this woman on YouTube a month or so ago, was how beautiful she was, how gorgeous she was at 96, every wrinkle, every gray hair. And I'm pretty sure the woman in this video I'm going to put in the link below didn't do any plastic surgery. I would be astonished if I were wrong on that. My wife was just kind of watching her feed and stuff that was coming up on her channel with YouTube, and I got sucked in. I was actually headed out the door to do something important I had to do that day on the property, and I sat down and watched the whole 13 minutes. I was glued to it. And that was another thing. And that's why I'm calling this out, this 96-year-old woman who at the end of her life says how you should take it slow, says what she's learned from life. And when I was watching this movie, she kept popping up in my mind, right? Because I believe there's no better artist than Mother Nature. I believe we are not the better artist, even for our own bodies, than Mother Nature. And what we will be, and we should be that gracefully. And we earn every gray hair and every wrinkle on our face. And it is the most beautiful manifestation of Mother Nature's artwork. with that, go and see The Substance. Horror sci-fi, it's being classified as 2024. And maybe if you haven't seen a few of these Stanley Kubrick movies, consider it. It makes the movie all that much more entertaining when you know bits and pieces that are the director's influence. Okay? I say no more. That's all, folks.